Elder, the president of all traditionalists in Osun State. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Uh, Going to the topic, sir. What do you want to? I want to understand what is meant by Isheshi.
Thank you very much. Isheshe in tradition means the recognition and the ability to honor what may have been described in Christianity earlier on as Trinity, which some call Metalokan. But our own religion and what God told us as Yorubas, Africans, is Trinity is not three. Trinity is five. Because if I says Babeni, Isheshieni ni, honor thy father. Iyaeni, Isheshieni ni, honor thy mother. Orieni, Isheshieni ni, honor thy Ori. Ikeni, Isheshieni ni. Ike is representation of the deities, any of the Orishas that you talk to God through. And finally, Ọlọ́run ọba ẹni, ìṣẹ̀ṣe ẹni ni. Ìṣẹ̀ṣe làwa bọlúfẹ̀ ká tó bẹbọra, ẹjẹ́ àbọ̀ṣẹ̀ṣe, ìṣẹ̀ṣe là á bọlúfẹ̀ ká tó dènìyàn. That is, for you to say you are a complete human being, you must be able to recognize the existence of all those in your life. So whoever is in life and says, I have nothing to do with my father, nothing to do with my mother, you are not a complete human being. So that is what we mean by Isheshe. Now, Isheshe festival that we now do, if you go down the line and you see what happens, that we do Ifa festival, Osun festival, Oshanla festival, Shango festival. These festivals happen at different times in different towns across the globe. When they perform Shango Festival in Miami, USA, it's not the same as Oshogbo. It's not the same as Ile-Ife. It's not the same as Ede. Same with Egungun and other festivals. But Isheshe is the celebration of man's existence. A celebration of all the Orishas on the same day universally. So that is why it is called the 20th day of August, being the universal day for Isheshe all across the world. So anywhere you go, the 20th day of August is Isheshe day across the globe.
All right. To the layman on the streets, what significance does Isheshi portray to the society?
The significance of Isheshe to the society is that Isheshe is trying to remind us that our existence, you must honor your father, honor your mother, celebrate your father, celebrate your mother, celebrate your Ori, then celebrate whatever deity or Orisha. We all have deities. No man talks to God directly. You may come in this religion, say he's the son of God. You may come in another religion, say he's the servant of God. But you remember there are so many religions, over 250 of them. And there's no single religion that talks of God and man. Every religion has talked of God, an intermediary, and man. That is what we have called Orisha in the Yoruba religion. Any Orisha da, before you now talk of God. So it's a celebration of all of them. So what do we do in Isheshe? We come together for prayers. We come together to showcase the beauty of our religion. Now on a larger level now, we have now taken it to a point whereby we also now try to showcase the beauty of Orisha in terms of the tourism potentials. Because for all these religions too, religion is also a source of tourism everywhere. Whether we like it or not, we go to Jerusalem, it's tourism.
Go to Mecca.
We go to Mecca, it is tourism. If it's just religious purpose, nobody should be paying money. But you know how many billions leave every country every year to the coffers of Saudi Arabia? There's a ministry in charge of pilgrimage.
So let's come to that tourism. What is your own as a president of your tradition? What are you doing to make it a tourist attraction to to people?
Well, so far so good. I think it's much better. If you look at Isheshe over the last 3-4 years, we have a lot of foreigners who also come in to attend. You see that of this year also. But you know, before it becomes a tourist potential with economic benefit, then government and we practitioners must be on the same page. I think Osun State government is doing fairly well. They are on track. If not for COVID and other things, some time ago they came up with the idea of Karile Odua, which they were in discussion with us for the state government to look at the possibility of annexing on the advantages of Isheshe and bring in tourists officially. You know now tourists come in unofficially. I may receive 10 guests who have come to partake in the Isheshe festival. Indirectly, government is making money. Indirectly, everybody is making money because those 10 guests will stay in a hotel. And somebody's economy has gone up. Those 10 extra guests will buy food from restaurants. Those 10 guests will buy artifacts. They will buy clothing. Yes. Even some time ago, somebody did a research using even Osun Festival and looked at the number of kegs that are bought on the day of Osun Festival and said no other time of the year has anybody been able to sell a sum total of those kegs sold in one day, in 1 month. So that is economy. If at Osun Festival, also for an example, there is a gate in other places in the world, to access some places there's a gate. Assuming everybody pays 100 naira or 50 naira to access Osun Grove, that's a lot of money, provided government is going to give account of it. Government is going to do the right thing with that money. So we have told them some years back, which they were trying to follow that. Whether we like it or not, our religion, our culture should be the bedrock of tourism and should be able to be an economic strength for Osun State, and same ditto for the rest of Western Nigeria or even other places in Nigeria. Go up north, look at the Agungu Festival too. That is something that people come here for. And all these tourist spots, government must not shy away from it and say, oh, we are just doing tourism, we are just doing culture. Once you water it down, it will not have that benefit. And the people coming also know it is more than tourism. It is more than culture. They know it is about spirituality. It's like you telling somebody that when you go to Mecca or you go to Jerusalem, you are just going there for culture, you are just going there for tourism. It's not true. So coming to Osun Festival, coming to Isheshe, coming to Osun Festival, it has spirituality in it. And the people who have come also know. But when government says that, or some other representatives, once you say that, you are watering it down and you are devaluing the essence of even what people have come for.
So what's the relationship between the traditional religion and the government? Is there a cordial relationship?
Yes, in Osun State there is cordial relationship. Like I said, when government came up with Karile Odua, there were representatives of the Traditional Religion Worshippers Association as members of the board of Karile Odua. So there's a relationship. From time to time, we relate. Again, even the Isheshe festival we have, over the last 10, yeah, that's close to 10 years now. Over the last 10 years, government has always been participating in Isheshe. Government gives some fund. They attend our programs. And another beauty of the Isheshe festival is we always have a divination for the state, not for us. It's for everybody. And we know Ifa is a divination, Ifa is divine, that tells you where you are coming from, the present, and also tells you what is ahead of you. And I think in the last 4-5 years, in fairness to Osun State government, they have always tried to listen to us.
Something we call superstition now.
It's not superstition. Because if Ifa tells you this will happen when you don't do this, even if you don't believe, and it eventually happens, you will remember, no, Babalawo told me that this was going to happen. So that's another good thing about Isheshe, that we would always come up with a prediction that this is what Ifa has talked about in terms of the political situation, economic situation, socio-cultural laws, and security. And for Isheshe, this year also, we have also embarked on the divination process. Ifa has spoken, and on the 20th day of August, we would also come out again to say this is what Ifa has said. Those who have ears should listen. And when the calamity comes, for those who have not listened, we will remind all that we warned you. If I talked of security, if I talked of the political situation we are in Osun, if I even talked about the economic turn down in Osun, and even in Nigeria, what is the problem and what we need to do. So, if I speaks to us, if government will be wise enough, government should, because Nigeria is has its culture, has its religion before the advent of, and we were doing much better. And there is no tribe in Nigeria that did not have their system of talking to God. And we were all better. But now, what is happening? We are not saying those religions are bad, because we know Saudi is better than here. We know Israel, Jerusalem is better than here. That means those religions, when they existed in their native land, they are doing well. So the question should be, now that we have imported it, why is it not doing well? So there must be some deceit somewhere. That somebody has not imported wholesome, because that's the only reason why it will not work. The number of churches in Nigeria is more than the churches in Israel. The number of mosques in Nigeria is more than the number of mosques in Saudi Arabia. So why is it not working? Somebody is deceiving somebody.
So the Muslim do have their holy book, while the Christian also do. Traditionalists do have their own holy book also.
Yes, we have our holy book. The only difference is that it's not a book.
Okay.
We call it oral citation. When Orunmila came, there was no Western education here, quite all right. But necessity is the mother of invention. The white man cannot commit to memory. Blacks are blessed. Even if you go to history, even the same book we are talking about, the world started from Mother Africa. Civilization itself was said to have started from Mother Africa. Everything is Africa. But coming back to the issue of Ifa, Ifa is an oral citation, it's the word of God. And black man was able to commit to memory. And it was handed down from generation to generation by oral citation. But now that everybody is getting Western education, people are getting read, there are books, but there cannot be a universal book of Ifa. Because Orunmila was a traveler. The chants, let me explain further. It's like this. The book of Ifa contains Odus, which we call Odu Ifa chapter, just like you have 66 chapters of the Bible. But in Ifa, there are 256 chapters of Odu. Under each of those 256 chapters, Ifa told us there are at least 256 verses. When Orunmila was in Oshogbo, from each of the 256 chapters, he may not have chanted more than 50 verses before he left Oshogbo to Ekiti or to Benue or to Taraba, because he traveled all over.
Due to my research about you, like they said, you have gone through this process for over 30 years ago now. So, like, is there a school, like a formal school, like someone can go and learn this thing? Because I've seen there's Baba Elebu, I've seen foreign people there.
That's a school. But you see, every Babalawo has a mentor who is a teacher who we call Oluwo. You may live with your Oluwo. So that means when you live with your Oluwo, in the evenings you learn the verses. Occasionally, when he is attending to clients, you sit there, you listen. So what you also hear day in, day out sticks with you. You know, there are systems of learning. You learn by direct teaching. You learn by observation too. So that's teaching. But now coming back to formal school, in some places in Osun State, in some primary schools in the Ejigbo local government, they teach Ifa in schools. In Oyo, there's a University of Ifa, or let's call it a College of Ifa, by Professor Wande Abimbola. That people go there to enroll for a 2-year course, for a 4-year course. And Babalawos are in employment there that they teach. So all those foreigners you see that come to, some people come, spend 2-3 months, they learn, they go back, they come back again, and day in, day out. Before you, to be a well-bred Babalawo, you need an average of at least 7 years. So that's like a PhD program you are running. Before you do your first degree, your master's, down to PhD. So the average Babalawo is a PhD holder.
So why does the traditionalist doesn't like the people in the tradition does not have any other profession aside from being the Babalawo, the Yaorisha?
I have other professions. I'm a medical doctor. So there are priests who have other professions. And so also there are priests who don't do any other thing. Because it's also a full-time, it's also a priesthood is a full-time thing. You have some other priests in some other religions that's all they do. You wake up in the morning and clients will come. Human beings are meant to have problems. Human beings are meant to have wants day in, day out. But nowadays you have Babalawos who do other things, who have businesses of their own and paid jobs too.
So why does traditionalists don't do much in politics? Like, is there any spiritual kick against it?
I'll give an example. Professor Wande Abimbola ventured into politics. He was one of the advisors to President Olusegun Obasanjo. Baba resigned. You need to go and ask Baba why he resigned. For Babalawos or traditionalists, black is black, white is white. We can't afford to lie. We can't afford deceit. You know, the Nigerian politics, you know, the average politician in Nigeria, when you are looking out there and you know it is morning, the average Nigerian politician can tell you it is good evening. Babalawos can't do that because we are under oath. Yes, you say politicians are also under oath, but are they truly under oath? With the level of deceit, with the level of lies, with the level of stealing? If truly they are under oath, tell me one single politician or one single public office holder that has been reprimanded spiritually by oath. If truly it is oath, oath is supposed to reprimand. Or what do we call oath? By the dictionary. And we all go and swear by the Quran, swear by the Bible. Come off that. It's just theater. Home theater, Nollywood fame is what we are doing. Because in these other places too, they go by oath. And they do well. Because the biblical oath in Israel, you're a journalist, I'll implore you to go and research. The way they take oath there with the Bible is not the way we take oath here. The way they take oath with the Quran, there's not the same. I challenge any pastor or imam to come and tell me it is the same way. They are not doing the right thing because we are full of deceit in this country. But you know that when you take oath with our own indigenous religion, you dare not. And let me say something else again, which you will corroborate. As crazy as our politicians are, when they want to emerge as party candidates, what do they do to their delegates, their followers? What do they do? Then they tell them to take traditional oaths. Why? Because they know that is more potent. They know you dare not. They bring cutlass, bring gun, give them water. Say, okay, this is 2 million naira. Oh yeah, jump over the gun and say you will vote for me. And they do, and they emerge. After emerging, as stupid as we are as a nation, as followers, we cannot also now come together as one and say, okay, Mr. Governor, it's now your turn. You also swear by a traditional. Let's just have 2 governors do that. And let's see how his term of office will be. We have seen traditional matters being settled at the palace or even in homes. I saw one day, right there at Olaya, somebody beat a traffic light and hit the other man. Right there at Olaya. And he was claiming that no, I did not beat the traffic light. I passed. You also did not wait for the light to pass you. And the man was ranting. And what did the other man do? He didn't talk. He went to his boot, brought out his jack, and people felt he wanted to smash the other man's car. Removed his shoes and said, this is Ogun, the god of iron. If I were the one that beat traffic light and hit your car, today, before the end of today, may Ogun kill me. You also say the same thing. What did this other man do? He prostrated. He said, my brother, please forgive me. That is as potent as our religion is. As potent as our culture. Because it's blood. It is in us. So many instances, you want to employ somebody to your private establishment, you tell him to come and swear that he will not steal your money. You won't tell him to use the Bible or the Quran. But when it now comes to a collective thing, our nation, our state, our local government to develop, we now go to deceit. And we say Nigeria is not doing well. That means we are the architects of our misfortune.
So, sir, do you believe Yoruba spiritualists are going to support any Yoruba candidates for 2023 election?
Well, as an individual, everybody has a right to his or her own political affiliation. Because there are spiritualists who are PDP. There are spiritualists who are APC and other parties. Just like every other religion. There has been no time we have been asked to come together as one and say, this is what we will. And you wouldn't ask spiritualists to do that. Because spirituality as a religious leader is different from politics. Except we want to politicize religion. But as individuals, you have a right to belong to any political party. I have a right as an individual, not as the president of TRASO, for Mr. A of political party A to come to me to have a divination. However, when he does that, the divination will tell him what his chances are and probably what he needs to do to improve his chances of success at the poll. But you must also remember that candidate B of political party B would also go to another spiritualist, just like you want to become a king. Everybody goes to his own spiritualist, but what do we say when they come together? They say, anything far about kunju. That is, whose spiritual fortunes is more, will eventually emerge. So that is that, but I don't think we should come to that point to say this is what it should be. But if Yoruba nation come together and say, okay, as a Yoruba nation, we want a Yoruba man to emerge, and we want to employ traditionalists to offer prayers, because what we do, Ebo is prayer, divination is prayer, because prayer is targeted at getting a certain goal. So anything you do to achieve that goal is regarded as prayer.
Okay, on the short note, sir, just briefly, what are traditionalists doing in terms of insecurity in the country?
Very good. In January, we talked about it. What we can do is to do divination, make Ebo, and give warnings. In June, during the Oketase festival, we said the same thing. I briefly mentioned it. For this Isheshe also, Ifa has told us in the Odu that was revealed that the bandits, the headsmen, they are in our forests. It is not because some people had said it. Because some people have said it, Ifa has also come again to reiterate and say it is true. And Ifa told us what to do. That government should take care of our local security architecture. What is that? Amotekun. They should fund Amotekun. Because that bandit headsman thing is real. What happened in Owo, if we are not careful, will happen in some other places. But Ifa has told us what Ebo to do. We have done that. That Ifa has also now revealed what every individual should do in their homes, which we will reveal on the 20th day of August. So be with us at Freedom Park.
So,
And let me quickly say, because somebody asked me a few days ago, another journalist, that, and how are you so sure that will work? The potential that people are coming with AK-47. And I said, the same way, many years ago, when the jihadists were coming, when they promised that from Sokoto, they will put their sword in the Atlantic Ocean. Were they able to? Did we fight them with guns? No. We fought with Ebo. The Kiriji war site today, that has become a historic thing. What happened? That was where the war was conquered in Yoruba land. That was where the Fulanis died in their hundreds. What killed them? Ifa spirituality. Ifa told us then that we should go and venerate Oshun. They venerated Oshun, and they said they should make asaro porridge and put porridge there for the enemies. And everybody went. There were no Yoruba soldiers there. When the Fulanis got there and they met porridge, and they were laughing that these Yorubas must be foolish people. We are coming to attack them, to kill them, and they even made food for us to eat. They were under spiritual trance, not to have thought that maybe this is poison. And they all ate. They died in their hundreds. Because the porridge was already poisoned by Oshun. And when mob bandits came, because they were bandits then also, when they came and they saw the others, that means these Yoruba people must be stronger than we thought. They went back. This time around too, Ifa has told us what every home should spread around their community. Spread it in your home. Spread it in your office. Spread it in your church. Spread it in your mosque. Every place where people gather, for us to be able to disperse the headsmen. I will say that when we reveal it, those who have ears should hear. We said it during COVID.
okay.
People may not have believed, but look at what COVID was in Nigeria compared with other places. Or even in Oshun, we thought COVID was going to be bad in Oshun. When they said some people had come in through from Cote d'Ivoire, everybody was on there, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen like that. Because then Ifa told us that we should take one masquerade, Egungun Babalago. Spirituality is in our society. That was what we were using in those days. Egungun Babalago came out in at least 7 different towns at 7 p.m. in the night and carried a bowl of palm oil around town and go and put it at the border. That the spirituality that was coming with that COVID virus will be consumed. And we said whoever also wants should take a bowl of palm oil and put it by your house. Whether it is true or not, whether it worked or not, that may be another thing for science to prove. But we know that by data, COVID menace was low in our society. So the same thing now for insecurity, we're also saying let us do these things and let's see whether it will work or not.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate it, and we hope to have you another time to explain more about the process of Sheshe and how me also can learn about Odus.
No problem.
Thank you. That's our offering. See you next time.